will pass it to you, Leon. We have 1 hour, present, and then after that, everyone can just add something. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Joshua. Soup. A recipe to nourish your team and culture. A presentation created by yours truly. And about the author. Jon O. Gordon is an American author and speaker on the topics of leadership, culture, sales, and teamwork. Early on in his life, at the age of 24, he opened a restaurant and bar in Buckhead, Atlanta. He then started a nonprofit raising money for youth focused charities. That's the book. Soup as a culture. What is soup? It's more than just a food. Soup is a powerful metaphor for organization's culture and, and vitality of ingredients. Just as they make up the soup, people, values, and practices make up culture, nourishment, and growth. The good culture nourishes your team, fostering growth, engagement, and success. And the can toxic soup can deplete and even sicken an organization. And Nancy and the challenge. The book introduces Nancy, a restaurant owner facing a struggling business and a spirited team. Power's perspective. She learns that her biggest challenge isn't just the food or the customers, but the very culture within her restaurant. And, and the guide. You say something?
And yeah, I have to be in the meeting though.
All right, I'm gonna continue. The book follows Nancy's practical steps and insights came from her mentor, the wise chef, and her team. And the, the essential components for a thriving team are love and care, the genuine care for employees, customers, and the mission. This is the foundational ingredient. And service, the commitment to serving others, both internally and externally. And spirit, enthusiasm, positive energy, and shared purpose. That's another one. And the story behind it, a compelling narrative that unites the team and defines their identity. And self-care, the importance of individual well-being to contribute effectively to the collective. And the recipe, define your ingredients and clearly articulate your core values and desired cultural traits. And lead with love, model genuine care and empathy as a leading force. Serve others and foster a service-oriented mindset among all team members. And feed the spirit by injecting positivity, celebrating success, and inspiring purpose. And tell your story. Consistently communicate your vision, mission, and positive impact of your work. And take care of yourself. Encourage and practice self-care to sustain energy and resilience. And nourish team and business. Increased engagement. Employees feel valued, motivated, and connected to their work. And, and a positive culture fosters improved performance, collaboration, innovation, and productivity. A happy a happy team naturally translates to an enhanced customer experience and greater resilience of a culture and helps navigate challenges and bounce back from setbacks that would otherwise cripple the collective. Hence, sustainable success. The soup provides the long-term nourishment for continuous growth. And your invitation to cook. The culture is a choice. You got the power to intentionally shape your team's culture. And it starts with you. Leaders are the primary chefs of the organizational group. The small changes leading to big impacts. Even seemingly minor adjustments to your ingredients can yield significant results. And nourish to flourish. Invest in your team's well-being and watch your organization thrive. Thank you. That's all of them.
Oh, good job, man.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, good job, Beyond. Very good. Very good presentation, and very brave as as usual. And we want to say thank you, Beyond. Good job, and keep it on. Yeah. So as usual, right? We have 3 minutes. Whomever want to jump, can go ahead and jump on. Just to share whatever he has also learned from the book. We have 3 minutes. Let's try to be on. To stay within the time. So yeah, whomever wanna jump on can go ahead and jump on. Yeah, thank you.
If you allow me, Thomas,
Yes, Fred Thomas, go
are you
ahead.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I really, really want to thanks Beyond for the presentation and it just brief as usual, but a lot of stuff say in a little time, right? So my first question to Beyond is, um, what is the secret to say a lot in a short time? What is his secret? How you figure out to say to have your slide everything presented and then you read it in less than 6 7 minutes you already present everything. I really really like and I would like to do like that. Mine might take me 16 or 17 or 18 minutes, but you do it in 7 minutes. So my question, I repeat it: what is the secret ingredient for your soup to be able to get it through in less than 10 minutes, but today is like 7 minutes? So that's my first question for you. The second question is on coming to leaders. From your experience of reading this book, what is the definition of a leader? And I'll stop right there. And if you allow me, I can make my own contribution right away, or I'll let him answer first.
I'll answer.
Okay.
Okay, the first question, I well, I make a presentation like that. I'm I form the core message in my mind and put it on paper. And for the second question, a, a leader is usually the do I even truly know what a leader is? Hmm.
Do you know any leader
Any leaders?
that you know? And what make them a leader? What make that person a leader? The criteria.
Hmm. I'll be honest, I don't really know any leaders.
Okay. Anyone here want to help Beyond?
Yeah, I'll help Beyond. Um, Usually we confuse managers with leaders. Managers, they give direction and they tell people what ought to be done. But leaders, they inspire people to act. That is what a leader does. They inspire people to act. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and also I wanted to say today, Bill, you are our leader because you are sharing a message with us, even though we all are very much acquainted with the book. Today, you are a leader. A leader is someone who drives a message home. You are the main you are on the main front page of what is going on. You carry the touch, and then everyone follows you and, are inspired by you to do XYZ, or um, the main topic, or the main idea that drives the group. You inspire people with your words. You make sure that things are done, and that's a leader. So today you are our leader today.
And I want to add one or two sentences on it. As Josh was saying, manager, most of the time when you don't see the manager, you don't want to act. But leader, sometimes you don't even need to see the leader, but just to have his information in your head and you can continue. We can call Martin Luther King as a leader, even though that he died several years past away. People are still proclaiming that he's their leaders because he inspired them. That is in them. They don't need to see him, but the information is still. And leader is a process. You cannot wake up and say you are a leader one day. It's a process. Everything, even what you talk to your child or what your grandpa said to you can come as a leader in a business situation, even though that your grandpa didn't have any business. So leadership is a little bit complex than management. Thank you.
All right, thank
May I also add
Thank you.
a few words?
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much, Dion, for your presentation. And I really love Chriselle's approach to leadership. Yeah, anyone who inspires a group, who puts everybody, gather all the mind into one direction, is a leader. And Fred Thomas was asking if you know any leader. There are many of them. One obvious one today is Donald Trump. Is he a leader? Is he a manager? Well, but at least he created the movement and then make a lot of people following him, right? But we do have historical leaders. There are multiple books that I will eventually encourage us to read. Like the concept is called lead like Jesus. And the poor guy with just one sheet of material, that is all his possession, without even pair of shoes, with just 12 followers who are his key followers. After 2,000 years, still having over billions of followers, those are leaders. You take Mahomet, look at how many people he inspires. You know, he's dead long ago. He existed in the year 600, but look at the size of the Muslim group today. Buddha, just to mention a few. Those are all leaders. You heard about Gandhi and Arun mentioned Martin Luther King. Okay, Obama, last time has been one of a very powerful leader, and just to name a few. But any key figure, as Josh said, who inspires and whom just by the name and by the inspiration or by the ideology, people carry things on, they accomplish a mission on his behalf, is a leader. And this book is sharing that idea to give us key, and the way you have enumerated them one by one, all the attributes, the very important attribute for a good leadership. uh, it's so interesting. I'm very grateful to the great job that you have done, and we are going to learn. If you allow, we'll have it as a reference, to get inspired with what you have done as our leader tonight, to make sure that we follow all the rules that you have set, and to believe that if we do it, eventually we can at least aspire certain leadership among any of our followers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. All right. Who else wanna add something?
Mm,
I believe we are still in the question mode. We haven't shared our insight of the book, right?
oh,
Oh,
For my end, that's all I have for now. Thank you.
yeah. So, anyways, whomever, anyways, we're still, within the time. So, whomever wanna like, jump on, can actually jump on. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll hop on.
Good, good evening to everyone. I have to apologize first. I was late connecting into the meeting because I was still dealing with a situation. Um, Having said that, I didn't get all of what Bjorn was saying, but the bit that I caught was quite inspiring to me, to a point where I feel that perhaps what I might add today would only serve to spoil the soup. Nevertheless, I will probably try to steer away from his content and just maybe a comment because I was reading Nancy's story. And the thing that stood out for me in how Nancy turned out the Soup Incorporated Corporation was by first dealing with the elephant in the room, which is bad leadership. And yet she made sure that a lot of those leaders who were responsible for the poor culture in the organization were dismissed. And I think I'm saying this is because I have lived through a similar experience where I was in a very toxic environment, and I knew that the only way for the company um, to be turned around was for the leadership to be let um, loose from the company. And that is sometimes, I think, it takes a lot of courage, it takes guts to do so. And in most cases, leadership. And when I say leadership, I'm not talking about management, I'm talking about the board of directors. They don't have the guts to take the right action and fire the CEO who is messing up the company and bringing on bad culture. And we can talk of certain companies, um, GE, General Electric is one of those companies that went from great to nothing because of bad management. And the right action was never taken. But as I say, I don't want to go deeper into it because I think Bjorn did a very good job of presenting the topic tonight, and I would like to respect him and therefore stop here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Josh.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frank Josh.
I will go ahead and say a few words.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Karam.
First, I want to thank Beyond for the great presentation. You always goes to the point and very fast. So I really thank you for doing that. What I want to what I might take away from the book is that we are all leaders in our life, because the soup that he's talking about is our life in general, right? We can be leader in our house, we can be leader of our health, we are leader of our financial. So it's a life in general, right? And he's talking about putting the right ingredient inside the soup to make it really tasty, right? So we are all leaders in our own life, and we are the one who guide our life. So depending of the ingredient we put in our soup, which is our life, in different uh, sector, in different area, depending on the ingredient we put in, we will have a really tasty soup or really bad soup, right? So this book is calling us or reminding us that we are leader of our life. We make this decision that we are making are the ingredients we are putting in our life, right? So uh, let remind that aspect as well. We can take that skill of leadership to our companies, to wherever, but let's bring it down to our life. We can be leader in our house. How do we want that our life to be? That's how we work on it, and we can use those tips he gives in the book to make our life better, right? So that's one analogy I really like about the book. That it's not just companies, it's not just workplace, but it also our lives and whatever we are doing with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's my
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Tarakola.
Thank you, Tatakola.
Yeah, I can jump on quickly. So I will not, comment. Everything has been said. Almost. So the book is very straightforward. So I just want to take I mean, few seconds to just, thanks Beyond for the wonderful preparation for the book. Thank you so much, Beyond. Good job, and again, keep it on. Thank you. Yeah, good book.
Awesome. Who else?
Okay. I guess I can say a few words. Um, I really like the analogy that um, the Takolom just brought in, and um, of course, Bignon, thank you. And once more, great job summarizing and leading tonight with another time record. And, the message was clear. Thank you. Now, leadership, most of the time when we think about leadership, we want to think about companies. We want to think about a big organization. We want to think, but really leadership is really who we are ourselves at home with whomever we may be sharing daily struggles with. That's really where it starts. And I like that Tata Colomb really brought that back into to the core. We all our we all are leaders of something in our life, and especially of our life first. And for kids that we have now or we're gonna have in the future, we all lead one way or the other. So I have something here that I want to say. It says how to cook, eat daily. It says start meetings or start your day with gratitude. As even if it's spouse or whomever you are with daily, and if you are part of a group at work, as team members of or family members, how they needed to strive, what did they need to be better, and celebrate small wins, encourage peer-to-peer recognition, address negative with love and truth, and keep the mission front and center. Um, those words really, they are simple, but they are something that we can all use at home, um, at work. And like you all know, they say the best leaders are those who serve. You see a good leader, he's front at the gate and welcoming people in. And if they tell you this is the leader, you said no. Jesus, a lot of people take Jesus, what he has done as a leader. He has shown with examples, and with action. So leaders are up front, and we are all leaders. We are leaders of our life. We are leaders of our health. We are leaders of every day thinking that we do. And if you have children, I think that makes it even a greater responsibility, that you really want to do the best you can, and really show that really leaders are really the one who are really doing the most filthy thing that you may think that someone cannot do in a company or at home. They are the ones doing that, and you show by examples. So really, I really like that, bringing things back home to our life, to our household, our environment, to start there, because that's really the foundation, and then we can take it to our workplace, with friends, with whomever we are with, outside there, including work. So that's my thought a little bit, and I want to thank everyone tonight for the communication and chipping in and bringing a positive vibe to this book club. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you. That's
Thank
a
sister.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. Yeah. Next.
Let me go quickly. Hi,
Okay.
everyone. Yeah,
Hello.
Hi,
I,
Father.
yeah, I had to think Beyond, and I think Beyond and other who are born here, they have one advantage than us, is because they are not looking for the word when they want to say it. The word is coming easier than we who have one or three languages. Sometimes you are talking about something in French and Yoruba comes in, or sometimes Mina comes in and you say, "Oh, I know that," but it doesn't come. So that's one advantage that definitely he has compared to other people here. So yeah, we thank you again for that. You are like our model that we want to reference and to meet. So thank you for being part of this. And I like the document that sometimes the title doesn't give you a clue of what the book is talking about. Because I remember the carpenter
Yeah.
that it didn't he didn't say anything. But the fact that he's comparing the work environment as a soup, I think he's right, because two soup are never the same, and two organizations are never the same. You have John there. John might be very, very powerful, different things. So I like this analogy. But sometimes I feel like it's like a fable. It's too simplistic. It make things easier than the normal way to do things on that one. But he's saying that instead of looking at the profit, you should look at the people. And when you make people feel comfortable, feel part of it, part of the organization, then they will take care of the organization. I like to debate a little bit about that. Why? Because sometimes when you are thinking about that, some people want to take advantage.
Mhm.
Some people want to take advantage, and that's sometimes the big organization, they have two companies, one for the lower class and one for the higher class. And in the lower class, it's like they are robots. They don't care about it. You come in, you have to do your hours, otherwise they will fire you. But a little bit higher class is there that they want to take advantage. They want to give them more flexibility. We want to do this, we want to do that. Is what is going on right now. The higher class can do remote working, but lower class has to come in person to the company to work. So we have to take one into consideration because people like to take advantage. On that, I finish and thank again Beyond and the person who suggests this book for the group. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Marcel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody has gone. Oh,
I
Is
just want
is
to have
next?
two
Do I want to say?
small points to mention, if you guys don't mind. Yeah, and thank you once more, Beyond. We can't finish, appreciating your contribution, and I love the fact that you are really getting involved and getting more and more engaged. Thank you so much. And having said that, everything is pretty much said, and I learned so much from the book. I just got, some comfort with the book today because I had to make a very tough decision, and I was feeling somehow awkward. But when I got to the level where the book was saying that you have to get, the bad apples off the basket, or you get the wrong passengers off your bus, it really comforts me. But one thing that was key that I love from it is that all the ingredients could be shared to multiple chefs. The sequence of mixing it could also be detailed. Everything could be done almost in the same way, but the taste of the soup depends on whoever stirred it. Who stirred the soup is the kind of love, the kind of spirit that person translates into the soup is what actually governs the taste of the soup. So it is very it is complex as at the same time appear very simplistic. So, and then so many pieces of advice, I should say, have been given. But one other thing struck my mind when he was talking about Nancy playing tennis, and then uh, you make some wrong shots, and then before you realize the ball is back again, and you have to make another shot, and so on. He said something which is very crucial. Stop thinking about the last shot. It distracts you. Mistakes made. You just have to take note and move on. If you put your mind on the last shot while you are still in the game, you are going to lose. And if you keep thinking about wrong shots that you take, whether it is the basketball or it's the tennis, as it was the case, if you make the shot and it happened to be wrong, stop thinking about it and concentrate. Take note of it quick, get back into yourself and concentrate on the game and keep moving. That is going to be the key to your success. So it's a very good book. I really like it. Simplistic, but teaches a lot. And Dr. Colomb and Christelle said it. The attributes, portrayed in the books, we have to learn from them and then put accent to the mission that we have all the time while we create the right culture. It is the culture around that mission that makes it work. Otherwise, it doesn't show any love, it doesn't show taste, it doesn't show harmony. And when it lacks harmony, regardless the rule, regardless the incentive, regardless all the remuneration that comes in, it doesn't lead to the real passion that you need to get from your team member to be able to carry on the mission. So that's all I have to say. Yeah, we should dare make the shot, take notes, use all the right ingredients that we think we have to, but in case we make a mistake, learn from the mistake, but never take off our eye from the mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Amor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So we have.
I think Shrey has no contribution today. He say he doesn't have anything.
Okay.
And Fatu
Fatu is not around. Okay. So yeah, I mean, we are 42 minutes past 9. So we still have 18 minutes. So the floor is still open. If someone has additional comments to
yeah, if you allow, I would like to come back a little bit to the I listened to Colomba and Christelle about bringing leadership in every aspect of one's life, right? But by mistake, in many of the company where we're working, they call some people team leaders, but they're not really leader at the workplace, right? Most of them, they're kind of supervisor, right? But they're not leader because instructions they don't inspire. They just ask you to do this is what you have to do. You need to be in this time, and they don't inspire you like. If they're not there, you'll be working, do more than what they need that they don't. But I want to go a little bit above that, right? Taking first you have leaders, but also you have some other leaders that carry something we call charisma, right? They have a charisma, and those people is like a magnet, and when they talk, people just follow. People just follow, and some of them, if it's in the religion field, you die for whatever they're saying. They can ask you to go and kill yourself, and you will kill yourself, right? We have David Koresh here in Waco, the one who was talking about the kingdom, and then finally they burned, right? When the U.S. Army sent some troop over there to save the family, they didn't know he already have grenade and stuff all around, and then they start the fire. Many people die for that. But Jesus also, as a religious leader, was a charismatic one. That's why even he passed 2,000 years ago, we're still talking about Jesus today. He's not here, but we're still talking about him. But if you're not charismatic, when you die, your work also die with you. And then you can see today, almost nobody talk about Napoleon Bonaparte. But back in the day, Napoleon was a great person, right? He was the leader, but he doesn't have the charisma. That's why when he passed, the charisma, I'm sorry. So that's opportunity. So he doesn't have the charisma. I don't know if you're following me. That's
Yes,
why when he passed, most of the general they start fighting among themselves. They don't have any ideology to follow, right? And then finally, everything was divided. So I just want to put in that prospect that the leader doesn't need to be there. The follower will do what is needed when if you're leading really in your absence, the work will be done, right?
Mhm.
Remember, Bonaparte in the U.S. contest, he's the one who sold the territory of Louisiana to the U.S., right? Today is the third of the area that we call the United States of America today. That land of Louisiana is a third from the current state of Louisiana up to Arkansas, all the way to Minnesota. All of that is what was called. But that person passed and nobody remember him, nobody talk about him today. So my point is, whatever we're doing at work, in family, in friendship, we need to live, uh, 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 like say, we need to be kind and leave a message of inspiration. If you are there and people fear you, as soon as you disappear, everything disappears. You're not breathing anything. So to cook the soup, we need to remember people, put people at the center. And if you build really people, when you're not there, they'll do the good job for you. That's all I would like to add. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. I have a question.
Yep.
Um, does and I want to bring it back to the core again. Having children, does it make a leading more um does it make it that something that you have to you feel like is your responsible than just not having children? Does it make it more important, or does it aspire more? Or I would get so bad. I wanted to hear from those who, like people like my dad, Frank and Davy, um, uh, all those dads and mom that we have here. I'd love to hear your point of view. And how do you go about that? How do you go about making that lasting impact? Just like Frank and Davy said now, when you are not there, that's really even when it matters more. And it matters more to your closest, your family, than anyone else. Forget the job or anything, but really your core value. Or how do you leave that impact? And does it matter whether you have children? And what is that weight?
Who want to
Because
jump in?
that's
Column?
that scares me sometimes. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
geez,
Column,
yeah. So
Column, you want to jump in? Or you want me to jump in and you follow?
Well, from having children from a mother's perspective is more emotional, right? You want to protect your kid. You don't want them to be hurt. You don't want them to suffer, right? And doing that, sometimes you take that strength from them, right? Because you protect them too much as a mother. But fathers, they have other perspective. They're more like let them go, let them try, let them fail. So it's a different perspective from both sides as father and mother. And I would say leadership. Probably we won't. I won't view it as a leadership, but I will view it as a protecting and caring. From my standpoint, you are more caring. You you are more. From my mother's standpoint, I'm more emotionally leading than father's standpoint. So that's what I would
understand.
say
Yeah.
when it comes
Mhm,
to kids. Yeah.
Okay. So let
thank
me join.
you.
Since Column spoke the pastor wife talk, maybe the pastor also
Yes.
is prospect.
Thank you.
So, raising kid, and I put it in the context. It might be your own, it might be your nephew, niece, raising kid when you're in charge. Um, Maybe it's male perspective, or but just raising kid is first caring for them, right? You want to drive them, you want to lead them to what you know best, right? So you're not going to want less for them. So one of the first point about that is if you want to lead them, you have to tell them the truth, right? That life is not easy. If we provide everything we can in this room, when you're out there, they're not going to provide to you like that. So it means if you have to tell them those facts, your kids, they're not your friend. They're not your friend. You are the leading force. You're the one who's gonna give the orientation. You're the one maybe to ask them to go where you were not able to go because you didn't know. But now that you know more, right? That's why you see someone who is a security guard want his son or his daughter to become a lawyer because that's what he stopped, and now he can feel it and he knows everything. So it's more than leading, because whatever you put on the kid, you put in their mind, that's what they're gonna grow with. If in your household, I don't know if I'm too long, but if in your household, for example, we all know smoking is not good. If you smoke, what do you expect the kid to do later in life, right? If you steal, or maybe you take them to go to do bad thing outside, what do you expect them to do later in life? So it's a leading role. To parenting is a leading role, and but it's a very, very difficult role because it doesn't end. Even if they graduate, they leave, now they're gonna get married. You're still in that. And they're gonna have kids, and you're still gonna think about when they talk about you about the kids also, right? And then you see some grandparent caring for the grandkid. So it's a job that never, never finish. But it's a great job. I'll stop there and let's Charlie and Josh elaborate about it.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming
And
in.
Nasif elaborate about it. So Nasif or Charlie or
Yeah,
Josh.
Nasif, with the four commandos, tell us
yeah,
something.
yeah. I'm saying something about it. Definitely, when you have kids, it changes your perspective. You are no longer the same person, and also having more than one kid is how having one kid is different than having more than one kid. Why? Because when you only have one kid, you think that every kid behave that way. But when you have more than two, you know definitely that one kid might be more joyful here or might do this one, and you start noticing that we people we are different. And from that perspective, when you are manager or when you are leaders, you know that what you say to John might make John laugh, and you say the same thing to Peter, and Peter will start like crying.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
and when you are talking, most of the time you might be thinking that, okay, I'm talking to a person of 60 years old, and you might be 20 years old. But don't look at the age as well, because sometimes even though that you are in front of 60 years old, you are talking to a person of 7 years old that is encased into that person. You might say something, and even that you are 20 years old, you might say something to the 70-year-old, and he will start crying. And you will say, what did I say now that he is crying for? No, it's probably the way his mom or his grandpa or someone who was in his environment was mistreating him, just that one remind him what you just said. You might say something and you say, "Oh, don't shout at me," even though that you didn't shout, but definitely he's thinking that is the way his mom or his father used to say to him. So at the same time, we are leaders, but having more kids help you to start practicing that leadership from home. And if you have more than one kid, it gives you more perspectives, knowing that one person is different from another, and you are practicing from home from there. I hope that it gives you some perspective, and it doesn't mean that the job is difficult, but it doesn't mean that it's not joyful. So we are inviting you to come to the club, Christelle.
Thank
With a
you. I
lot,
appreciate it. Thank you.
with more than one.
Yeah, with more than one, then you know that people are different.
And
Yeah.
besides people
Thank
are
you.
different, I was also thinking you were going to talk about managing conflict. Yeah, because the same
Oh
way.
yeah. That one is a law. Like I remember my last one came to me and say, "Oh, the third one called me big head." And I said, okay, what is going on there? Let me understand why it makes you mad. He said, oh, if he say, no, he didn't say big head. He said, look at your head. And I said, why look at your head? He said, yeah, he insinuating that my head is big. I said, okay, you might be right. Let me go into it. I said, look at your red skin. And he said, no, why are you calling me red skin? I don't have red skin. I said, if you don't have red skin and I call you by red skin, it means that it doesn't make you mad. He said, yes, it doesn't make me mad because I don't have red skin. I said, the same thing has to be the same. Because if he is calling you big head or look at your head, if you don't have a big head, you are not going to get mad. Because if you are getting mad, it means that you are implying to him that you have big head. Say, oh, I see now. so, so definitely management, you have to, especially that if they are the same sex. If they are the same sex, is another nightmare because
Yeah.
they want to show that they are the alpha in the house, and you have to know how to deal with that. Thank you for Fred Charlie Hamada.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
That
you.
must make sense.
Anyway, I don't have much to say, but I will, for my perspective, yeah, the emotion that we have for the love that we have for our direct kids influence a lot some of the leadership decisions that we make towards our kids. And Tata Colombo was saying she's mother and mother perspective, she seemed to be weak for the care that she's giving to the kids. I don't think it is only from motherhood side. All parents are like that. We are just, unconsciously biased towards our kids, regardless how best we want to do it. That, you know, eh, 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 the fact that that blood is still flowing in all the veins, it influences our decision into how we do. But we don't need to have kids before we have this sense of leadership because the criteria that the book have illustrated, like having a mission, just getting into a couplehood is a mission, and each member becomes a leader for that mission to carry it till death brings us apart. If the mission is clear, we support one another in good and bad, health and sickness, and so on and so forth. The mission is really clear. We are all leaders already. And then create the right culture. I really wish we could, but I love the way Beyond did it by putting the one heading and put all the sub attributes underneath and then another heading, sub attributes. So if we have that culture, and then from that culture, that mission, which is very clear, we want to carry this relationship to the best of it. Everyone hoping to do, as the couple who said, focus on doing the best to the other one, and the other one focus on doing the best on you. We are already leading, and leading by example, and then create the right culture. Once with the vibe is around it, that vibe starts from the 2 to 3 to 4 and so on, and we will keep making mistakes. We will keep learning by having all the ingredients, the pepper from here, tomato, the oil, the same ingredient, all the counseling and advice from all over how we could raise kids, but how we put it together, the kind of feelings that we use to build that confidence, build that trust among the team makes a difference. So, yes, when kids come in, it will be a team of 3, team of 4, 5, but it's not always kids. Parents, mother, father, they are already part of the team. When you are making a decision, you have to think about all what we are learning in this one. Putting others first, it makes the big difference. As Victor Franco said, that when you set the mission clear and then you follow it, making sure that you get the thing done from outside you, the success always follow. You cannot success like a fame cannot be pursued, but you do the work and the success ensues. So that is the same thing here. We focus on getting the mission accomplished, and the result comes by itself. That's what I could say. It's tough, it's complex, but whether in 1, 2, 3, 4, with kids or without kids, is still challenging. But the bias that I felt that exists when it comes to dealing with your kids, and you make some decision when people outside you will realize the weaknesses in your decision, while you yourself inside may not. So learning how to lead, you have to do it from home all the way in. And Nelson Mandela said it will look like an impossible mission until it is done and it becomes simple. So define the mission well, create the right culture around it, and keep correcting, making mistakes, correcting, and it never ends. But eventually, the success follow if the work is being done.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Great
I
feedback.
like the answer, Arun's answer, because it kind of bring that mindset of when you have multiple kids, you see they behave differently, right? And
Yeah.
you treat them differently as well, right? And it's the same thing at the workplace. You can see this. Some you say that people has to do stuff. Some people will do it perfectly. Some won't do it, right? And some they just have those behavior. You have to treat them differently, right? You have to talk to them differently. Some people need to component, but some people you just send the email, they do it, and it's done. So yeah, that is that's I love that perspective. That's way of seeing it
M-
as well.
Maybe let me say something that I just remember when Sister Colombe was talking. It was from the former president of Mali, Amadi Toumani Toure.
Mhm.
And they asked him, he said, let me tell you something. It's much easier to lead cows. I mean, a cow, how did they call it? Troupeau de
Chaos.
Cows.
Cows, or like
yeah,
a herd,
cows, but
a herd of
herd,
cows.
yeah. Yes, yes. The word that I was. He said it is much easier to lead a herd of cows. You just need one stick, and you say "Kak, kak, kak, kak," and they start following you. But to lead a herd of people, if you have 1 million people, you need 1 million sticks. And I said, "Oh my goodness," because there are certain people that want a big stick, the other one who doesn't need any stick, the other one who need a soft stick. So you have to manage. So
Yeah.
definitely, I remember him saying that. It was in French, but I made sure that I translate it in English. That was
So
very
not
funny.
only that you need million sticks, but you may need a different type of million sticks.
Yes,
Exactly.
different size as well.
Yeah.
It's exactly the
And,
same when you have more than one child.
yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.